Now, this is quite an important slide. I've said this is one of the most important slides in this presentation. These pictures are quite unfortunate because these were taken by, I think it was the Dutch, if I remember correctly. And this is post-colonization of Rwanda. And these pictures were taken, and these people, by the way, are all of the same ethnic group. And a lot has been done to try and separate the Tutsi and the Hutu as separate ethnic groups, and they're not. They're a single ethnic group. And they're social classes. So Tutsi and Hutu are actually different social classes that exist within Rwanda. Hutu can become a Tutsi if they manage to gain a certain amount of wealth. Okay? And it's to do with kind of like ownership of cattle, etc., etc. I'm not going to go into a lot of the spin that was put out, but this is a single ethnic group called the Banyarwanda people in Rwanda. And the reason I'm putting this out is because I just want you to take a bit of a look at the phenotypic range that we're seeing between these people. We've talked about different things here. We've talked about prognatishism. Okay. We've talked about retrognatism. Okay. Which of these two is more black? Trick question. Which of these two is more African? Which of these two is more native? People all agree that these two are just like, either of them could be your uncle, okay? Is the point. Yeah? There's no, by the way, this is a spitting image of the side profile of my older brother. Spitting image of side profile of my older brother. Completely retrographic. And he has a very East African being that we teased him about his whole life. And he's a European, to be clear. I mean, that looks very similar to Amenhotep's Noticeable profile being on the phone. We can see an orthographic face there. That's when the face is essentially straight. Okay? We're looking at different broader noses versus really narrow nose. Okay. We're looking at large alveolar regions versus much smaller alveolar regions. We're looking at broad top lips versus narrow. Look at the amount of different phenotypes that are expressed in these 6 photos. This is one ethnic group. Okay? We're seeing a head that, actually that's probably dolichocephalic. I'm looking for a no, they're all dolichocephalic. One that wasn't. I think they're all dolichocephalic. But we can get heads that are, that shape as well, ones that are much more flatter. But this shows the amount of difference that you can get within a single ethnicity in Africa. I think those of you who are from really diverse looking ethnicities, like most of us are, will agree with that. Okay, Kenyans who aren't an ethnicity, but you get the picture. I'm a Yoruba. We can go from the lighter skin to the darker skin to the beanest head to the squarest head, all in that single ethnicity. And this is just a depiction of African phenotypic diversity. Within African ethnicities, not just across the continent, within African ethnicities, we can experience so much physical diversity that isn't seen outside of Africa in that kind of range. And this is to do with essentially how old African genetics are. Okay, that's why they're very, very, very diverse, because they date back the longest. And this is very, very typical of the kind of phenotypic range that you would see in ancient Egypt. It's very typical. Let's finish up talking about Ramses, and then I think we'll be good to wrap up this lecture. So, some honest feedback about Ramses. Let me ask a question to the audience. Is this statue compatible with this mummy? Okay. Not a trick question. Feel free to give your honest answer, because there isn't a wrong answer here. No?
Yeah.
Go on, why?
like I can't even like spot a resemblance whatsoever. Like the nose to the lips, like the depth of the jawbone, it's all different.
Fair. I like that answer. Anyone else? Anyone have a different answer? Go on.
I have a question. Do mummies after death and after dehydration resemble the person in life?
That is the right question. A right question. For like an iRobot there. That's the right question. First of all, I think a good question to ask is, how old was Ramses when he died? Anyone know the answer to that? Over 90, definitely. 90 is the kind of earliest thingy, 96 is the oldest. The guy was nearly 100 years old when he died. And that's prior to being mummified for 4,000 years. Or 3,500 years, I should say. So over 90 when he died, how old do you think he was in this portrait? 40? I think younger. But I've seen it from the front, so that's unfair to ask you because you haven't seen it from the front. He's probably about early 20s in this portrait. He looks really young. It's the one that's in the British Museum. I'll show you the front view in a moment. So he's probably in his early 20s in this portrait, maybe latest 30. Who looks like the same when they're 90 as they did when they're 30? Very few people, isn't it? So we already know that there would have been a huge amount of physical change between him dying and him being alive. And then add to that your excellent observation regarding what kind of treatment and what has this face undergone. Because your observation was correct, they don't look compatible. However, let's just take a few things into account before we jump on and say, that mummy is not that person, because I think there's a possibility it could be the same person. So, I want to add a little bit of context to it. Let's have a look at a couple of those Rwandans now. Then look at the mummy, then look at the statue. Are we changing our opinion slightly? Is there a bit of compatibility there? Would you say? Yes or no? Be honest. Anyone seeing a bit of compatibility there? I'm seeing a bit of compatibility there. And I'm definitely seeing some compatibility here. From down, that is almost the same individual profile here. And then they don't actually look too dissimilar as well. So you kind of start to see, actually, no, there could be something there. This is a statue of Ramses from the front. It's a different one, it's not that one. It's a statue of Ramses from the front. And it's kind of tying it together a bit, at least in my view. Let's carry on with this. This is my reconstruction of Ramses, and this is how I tie it together. So this is genuinely just the aged version of my initial reconstruction. The hair of Ramses, which everyone thinks is Eurasian hair because it's straight and it's red. Ramses' hair is 100% African. I'll give you a definitive reason why it's 100% African hair. First of all, how old do we agree he is? Over 90, yeah? Who has their hair colour over 90 years old? No one. It's probably going to be all grey at that age, okay? Ramses' hair is red or this colour because of henna, which you guys will know is a regional thing, okay? Henna and indigo are used in conjunction with each other to get black hair, but indigo doesn't last very long. I know that because I've done my beard with it before. It lasts for about a week and then the indigo fades, but then you're left with red hair, and that will almost always be permanent. So henna, they say, is semi-permanent, but as long as you don't like scrub it heavily, it's gonna stay. So henna will stay, and your hair will stay that colour, and it will fade from a very bright red, eventually settle at orangey yellow. Okay, and they've already established that Ramses' hair definitely has henna in it, which is, by the way, a East African plant, not Asian. Okay, Asia inherited it from East Africa. Okay, so henna is an East African plant, and it's an East African tradition. Now, why do I say that this hair is definitely African, not European? It's not just the fact that it had henna in it. It's because Ramesses has been lying horizontal for in the region of, should we say, I know he was vertical for a little while. When they found him, he was vertical. But he's been lying horizontal for about 100 years now. You know what hasn't happened? His hair hasn't fallen down. Okay. His hair hasn't fallen down. That's compressed African hair. That's the same as when you put a wave cap on and your hair looks all straight and stuff like that. But does your hair start blowing in the wind? No, it doesn't. It's stiff. Okay. Ramses' hair is not. If he was European, that hair would be falling down. Okay. It's not European hair. It's African hair. It's a result of compression. Okay. All African hair is very wiry in old age, especially when it's grey. Grey hairs don't grow tight. They grow. And in fact, let me just visualize that for you rather than me just saying it. Okay. This is African hair. Okay. This is a man from the Beja tribe. Okay. These are Rwandans. This is a Massa man from the US. Okay, and this is, I'm trying to remember where he's from. Someone can tell, I think he's a Far. This man's from the Far tribe. These people all have hair like Ramesses. It just hasn't been compressed. If you put henna in it and you compress it, they'll all look like Ramesses if you put them in a coffin for 4,000 years. No doubt about it. Look at this hair in particular. Yeah, would you agree? It's not very dissimilar from what you see there. Even has the henna. And it's turgid there. The physical features that give Ramesses such a recognizable profile are compatible and commonplace with surrounding Nile Valley populations of East Africa. I put in a few hook noses there. For those of you or people who think that nose bridge, which by the way has undergone a process called transnatal craniotomy, where they pull out the brain through the nose. So they broke Ramesses' nose. So his nose actually wasn't that pronounced as a result of it being broken and packed. And that's been confirmed by Zaire Hawass. So his nose bridge wasn't that pronounced, but even if it was, so what? Is the point. Even if it was like that, that is not uncommon in the region. It's very common. In fact, it's far more easy to find people who look like Ramesses in East Africa than it is to find them in the Middle East. Far more easy. This is a very, very common phenotype. So I'll ask the question again. Is that mummy compatible with that statue? Maybe, maybe. I'm not giving a definitive, but I'd say maybe. I certainly would say that mummy is compatible with the region, 100%. So even if there is question marks over Ramesses' mummy, there's no question marks to me that this is an East African man. I have no doubt about that. If you need more examples, why not? The infamous hook nose that people like talk about so much. Oh, Ramesses got hook nose. Oh, he's not African. Clearly haven't been to the region. Very common feature set. Look at also, let me just go back up. Look at the vision, look at that Ramesses' cheek, because these are things that people like to miss out. Ramesses is dolichocephalic, by the way, he has the bean head. Also has really, really strong cheekbones, which I showed in my reconstruction. By the way, by chance, when I aged this up, I didn't change it from here. So you can see this individual is this individual, nothing exaggerated, just run through an aging filter using AI, okay? And happens to have those cheeks. That's one of the things that actually led me to believe, looking at this, I was like, that kind of works to me. I was like, that kind of works. I'm going to keep that. I think I've changed my mind about Ramesses. It could be him. Okay, just based on all of those factors.